Yeah, so I have this thing called KIR-AA, and Paul has this gene called HLA-C2. And what it is when they come together, they kind of repel. My genes kind of put the brakes on and say, let's attack this.
So what Alex and Paul have is the following. It is something called KIR-HLA-C mismatch, which is extremely important and considered a very high-risk factor for infertility. In the uterus, we have a very important class of cells called uterine NK cells. These are very important for various processes, including implantation, pregnancy, the formation of the placenta, etc. In order to activate, these cells have on their surface protein receptors called KIRs. These can be activating, which is good for our purposes, or deactivating. Some women, such as Alex, have a specific genetic profile that allows them to only express inhibitory, deactivating receptors. And this is considered high risk because if at the same time the embryo gets from the father and in some cases from the mother something called HLA-C2, then this is a trigger that causes what we call a mismatch. Essentially, these very important uterine NK cells shut down, and this can prevent implantation and the formation of the placenta, and can lead to infertility, to recurrent miscarriage, or even in very serious complications of pregnancy. So, is this condition rare? The answer is no. Although it's not common, it's not rare as well. We get lots of couples that come to us with significant and long histories of infertility after natural attempts or IVF attempts even, with no results. The good news is that this is a very specific, very important problem that it has a specific and very effective treatment. So, in many cases, after years of infertility, once correctly diagnosed, when we applied the right treatment, these couples got pregnant after 1 or 2 cycles of trying.
So because we're incompatible, there's a treatment called LIT therapy. Okay. And what it does, it's absolutely crazy when you think about it, is it takes Paul's blood and they inject Paul's blood into me. Wow. It's a bit like a vampire.
Yeah,
and
we've
just into your arm then?
Yeah, so they withdraw his blood and they centrifuge it. And then they do whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
They do magic.
You know, whatever the doctors do, the doctor magic. And then they inject it into my arm, and then it builds up a tolerance for my body to start to say, this isn't foreign, let's not attack this.
So Alex talks about LIT, or lymphocyte immunization therapy. LIT is an immunomodulatory treatment that basically what it is, we isolate from a donor's blood, usually the partner, we isolate lymphocytes that carry high levels of specific types of HLAs that are then transferred through a sort of vaccine to the mother, training her immune system or her body to be more tolerant towards the baby during pregnancy. Essentially, we simulate what happens naturally during pregnancy, training her to be more tolerant, more receptive, and less aggressive against the embryo. LIT works on many levels because it leverages on a natural process. It can help by producing protective antibodies, inducing the production of cell lines that are needed for immunological tolerance, such as T regulatory cells, and generally modulates the immune system so that it can be less aggressive, less inflammatory, and more baby-friendly. However, in this case, LIT is not the only treatment that is needed. LIT, to be effective, like most immunological treatments, needs to be accompanied with other protocols that provide a more comprehensive approach that cover both infectious, immunological, and all other possible risk factors. In this case, as in all cases of KIR-HLA-C mismatch, Alex and other women that have the same problem need a combination of LIT and a specific medication protocol in order for the treatment to be effective. This combination of therapies involving both medication and immunological treatments is needed to help Alex and other women with the same problem get pregnant and stay pregnant safely.
I mean, we're 4 shots in, so we're about 6 months into the treatment. I mean, we feel really lucky. If we hadn't found that Fertilysis place that could do the testing, we probably would have been on our 4th or 5th round of IVF now.